Bob Hoover here. Just want to take a couple minutes to talk about your securement equipment. We all know we need to do a good job keeping the loads on the deck of the trailer, but we need to take it a step further and make sure we keep our equipment in good condition. Take a look at your chains. Make sure that all the links are in good condition. Make sure the welds are intact, not broken. Make sure nothing's stretched. Take a look at your hooks. Make sure the cotter pins are all in good shape. Make sure there's no breaks at the end. For your binders, make sure you're using grease. White lithium grease is the best product you can use. Make sure you're spraying the threads, keep everything in good condition. Hang them up on your bulkhead and put a chain through the bottom of the binder to keep them in place and to help them from becoming unraveled while you go down the road. Keeping your equipment in good condition will keep you and everyone around you safe and keep you from getting a DOT violation. It'll also save you time and aggravation while you're on the road.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about securement here. We have a lumber load sitting here. Preferably, I would prefer to have a strap over this bottom layer, but we don't have that. We do know that lumber loads, though, that are over 2 layers high or 2 levels high has to have securement over that second layer, right? And then if it is over 3 levels high, it has to have securement over either the second or the third layer, depending on the height of the second layer. If the second layer is 6 foot or above, it has to be over the second layer. If it is below 6 foot, then the securement could be over the third layer. We prefer to use straps on lumber, of course, less damage to the lumber, and they will hold just as secure. We always want some type of forward impediment. My favorite type of forward impediment on lumber loads are X straps on the front. Of course, they're not going to catch every board, but they do create side friction, which will impede the forward movement of that lumber load. We hook our straps underneath here, not to the rub rail. Our straps are rated at 5,400 pounds. We also always want to make sure that there's no damage to the strap when we're using it, right? No cuts, no abrasions through. Nothing that's going to compromise the integrity and the strength of this strap. And we always, of course, want to make sure we check our load securement, make sure it's tight at all times. Do our standard within the first 50 miles of the trip. And then every 3 hours or 150 miles, whichever comes first, or anytime we change duty status, required by law, right? We do a walk around inspection, check our securement, make sure it's still tight. Goes a long way towards making sure that load stays where it's supposed to. A lot of people think that securement is designed to stop a load if it moves. It's designed to stop a load from ever starting to move, and that's our goal. If we stop this load from ever starting to move, it'll sit here forever. That's the way I like it. So we actually have a lumber load sitting here that part of it did move forward on the driver. The driver didn't put any forward impediment on it. He didn't put any X straps. He didn't put a belly wrap. I wanted to show belly wraps here because we don't have any pipe loads to show you, so I'm showing it on this lumber load. It will absolutely work on a lumber load also, right? So we don't have enough strap to do the belly wrap the way I prefer. It still works this way. I start out by putting the strap underneath, throwing it over and back underneath, so you're squeezing that lumber. You're creating side friction, right? It is wrapped around this lumber. It is super tight, and it is creating friction. It's creating friction in the center here that will stop these boards from moving forward in the event of a hard break, right? That is our goal. Actually, a perfect scenario would be this belly wrap and an X strap in the front, right? 2 forms of forward impediment that will go a long way towards stopping the load to move. It doesn't take that much more effort. It really doesn't. If you're putting it in the front here, all I did was slide the strap underneath. I didn't have to worry about pushing it through. Just slide it underneath. It tightens up really tight, and it will squeeze that lumber. All right, guys, what we have here is a 39,000 pound shotgun coil. We always use chains inside of a coil, right? We never use straps inside of a coil unless it's aluminum coil and the customer specifically asks us to use straps. We always want to use chains. In this 39,000 pound shotgun coil, I have 2 chains that are X inside of it, and then I have 2 C chains. And then I have 1 strap over the center and 2 straps over the outside edges over the tarp. So, and then we want to make sure we tarp this coil so that it is protected from the weather. I just actually brought this coil back from Ohio. Very well protected, very sturdy. The chains, of course, still tight. I stopped every time I was required to, and actually probably then some, right? To make sure this coil is secured properly. I want to make sure everything is tight, make sure it's not going to move. That is my goal, for this coil to never move. And then, of course, secondary to that is protected from the weather. All right, guys, what we have here is just standard basic bulkhead. This is actually one of the items whenever a new driver comes into this company. This is one of the items we require them to build. We evaluate their ability to properly build a bulkhead. The bulkhead is one of my favorite tools for forward impediment, stopping that load from moving forward. The bulkhead works best if it is up against the load, if it is built structurally sound and tight. This will stop a lot of loads from ever starting to move, and that's our goal, right? We want to make sure they stay where they're supposed to be. And this will do the job.
You are the most important piece of the JLE team. Your safety out there on the roadway each and every day is paramount to our success. JLE's standard for securement of 75% of standard weight assures that you, your freight, and the motoring public are safe at all times while moving down the highways. Being there on time, making sure our customer is happy, and assuring that the motoring public around us is safe is absolutely our goal every single solitary day. Thank you, and be safely driven here at JLE.